Talent must be celebrated. Hundreds of young keyboardists in Ghana are counting on us to unearth their very own special talents. Let's find them, nurture them, and make them keyboard idols. My name is Jessica, and you are welcome to the Keyboard Idol.
Alrighty, welcome to the pre-audition episode of Keyboard Idol, Citi TV's biggest keyboard competition. Now, over the last few weeks, we received tons of entries into our keyboard competition. Now, we got entries from the length and breadth of Ghana, indeed from the Volta region to the western region, from the northern region all the way down to the south. We've been really excited with everything we've received, but this is where the story begins. We are going to be cutting down the numbers from the numerous ones that came through to just 20. And these lucky 20 entrants are going to be making it into the auditions with our judges for the season. They need to be below 15 years of age, and so far, oh boy, you'll be seeing the entries, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to be looking for, amongst other things, clarity of notes, interpretation of music. We'll even be looking out for performance. How good will they be? So what are participants going to be winning for the Keyboard Idol? 10,000 Ghana cedis in cash. No kidding. Now stay with us because this competition is just about to get heated and the story begins right here. Don't forget, all you need to do is to tweet at us with the hashtag Keyboard Idol. Plus, if you want to send a WhatsApp message, you're welcome to do so as well to 0550-585832. Let's meet the judges.
Dr. Alfred Patrick Adakwe is a classical art musician, a keyboardist, singer, composer, arranger, chorale director, and conductor who has obtained a bachelor's MPhil and is currently a doctor of philosophy in music theory and composition. He has performed on many platforms in the world. Emmanuel Nikwe Ayi goes by the moniker Nikwe. He's the CEO and band director for the music band Musical Lunatics. He has directed music for a lot of musicians including Mr. Easy, Kojo Q, Senadagadu. He doubles up as a Cambridge music tutor and an artist manager. He spends most of his time as a music producer and multi-instrumentalist, mostly known for performing on the guitar and synthesizer keyboard. Nathan Kwao is a sports broadcaster and the head of research at Citi FM and Citi TV. When he's not doing all that, he reads, consumes music, makes rap music, and spends time playing the keyboard.
Hello, gentlemen. Hi. I mean, I wish I could hug you, but maybe we'll do the fist bump.
Corona.
Yeah, fist bump. How you guys doing today?
Oh, we're all good.
Great. I'm okay. Please have a seat. Let's get right into action.
Okay.
Let's get right into action. So, what are we going to be doing today? I mean, it's obvious that we've got about 30 contestants, you know, who are going to be hoping to get into the top 10 eventually, into the series. Mm-hmm. And you're the guys who are going to make it happen. Our very able selection committee. And so, yes, you're welcome. I think we should go straight into action, no?
Oh, no. But I know you are a pianist.
Me?
Oh,
Pianist?
no. Something in music. I know
what?
you.
The 3 weeks I did when I was 8 years old?
Oh,
that
no, but
doesn't
I know
count.
you are musically inclined. At least let's hear you do something before we start.
Something like
or
what?
else we can't judge.
Something like what?
Pampa, I heard you do something like that.
Oh, really?
Some years back.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me try my hands on this. So this is something I learned from way back when.
Yeah.
Very easy. Okay, here we go. money myself.
That's the choice.
But at least you're happy now, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so we
Yeah,
can
now,
go.
okay.
We can go.
Yeah.
Let's get right into action. So we have kids from all over the country, to be honest. All of them under 15, hoping to be the next keyboard idol on Citi TV. And like I said, you're the guys to make it happen. So what we're going to be doing is looking at a couple of the entries that came through to Citi TV, and we need your expert opinion on who should make it into the next round. We're looking for 20 in number. So I know you guys, I mean, this is right up your alley, so you'll be able to do it. We'll go right into action. And for those of you watching at home, also, just, keep the interaction going. Hashtag keyboard idol. If you see any entry that you absolutely love, let us know as well. And, we'll be crawling all the comments on the screen. So let's go right into action. Checking out our first contestant. And I have on my list, Josiah Ababu.
I think he's doing well. He's good. One thing I like about his playing is the melody is very clear. I like the choice of the tone. The melody is very clear, and everyone listening to him knows he's trying to do an improvisation on Yaponsa,
right?
Which is good. And I think the interpretation is what is missing. We must also see him enjoying the music himself. He must be into the music, and that is, I think, the only thing left. But
right.
apart from that, I think I'm impressed.
Okay,
yes.
All right, impressed. I don't know what scores you're going to give him, but we'll see that later on paper. Nikwe, what about you?
I could tell he was trying to do a variation of Yamponsa, High Life, and as the doctor said, yes, definitely interpretation was a bit missing, but he did well. I think he did well. Clarity of notes, perfect. Not perfect, but it was good.
Was good, yeah. Nathan?
I liked his take on the Yamponsa vibe, and I thought that, my understanding of his interpretation was good. It was a performance that I had a bit of an issue with, because I thought that, yes, he should have probably been enjoying more of what he was playing. He looked a little flat, but that's understandable.
Right.
He was being taped.
Right.
And I'm sure he didn't want to get nervous and miss
right.
his steps. But apart from that, I think that it was a good
Right.
Clarity of notes, number one. You could tell she was making a few mistakes, even though she had a score right in front of her. That's where I could tell she wasn't actually reading. But it was a good performance, yes. With the level of speed that she was actually going with and tempo. I don't know what's on the score, but it was cool.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Doc?
I think that the melody was missing. You see, in classical music, the melody is the most important, the main melody, and the accompaniment. But I could hear all the notes being sounded, in the same dynamics, and I think she must work on that. And apart from that, too, sorry, with the kind of music she was doing, I was expecting her to use the damper pedal as well, you know. Because of that, it was sounding a little bit boring with the breaks at some point, you know, because she wasn't very sure of some notes. She was breaking at some point. The music is very difficult. She's done well, but it's not all about picking a difficult piece. You know, if you pick a difficult piece, you must do justice to it. So it's good. She has tried a difficult piece, but I think the interpretation was missing, and she's got to work. But I'm impressed.
All right.
But yeah.
Okay. Are you impressed, Nathan?
Largely, but I kind of agree with Dr. Adakwe. I mean, I don't play classicals, but I can understand where she was going. You could tell once she wasn't playing from a piece. This was a piece she knew. She was playing it from memory, and that accounted for some of the errors. At the point, I thought some of the timing was a little off, but you give her that. It sounds like a difficult piece, so yeah. Those are
Okay.
Entry. One entry that has two separate pieces.
I know.
Clarity of note, I think that was a very good one in terms of clarity. The interpretation I didn't quite get too well, and I have to admit I'm not familiar with the piece, the first piece. The second piece was a bit more familiar, ragtime jazz type thing. So yeah, it was difficult to determine where it was going, but in terms of the clarity of note, yes. The performance, again, like everything we've said,
right.
It was a little flat, but it was interesting seeing that after one piece tried to play another one. That was a very unique way of putting the entry. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think the clarity was good. All other categories, not too good, to be brutally honest.
Okay, me.
Yes, for me, clarity of notes, I tend to disagree with Nathan. It was missing at some points, and I think it just took me off when he just switched into another piece, which I think he shouldn't have done.
Okay.
But performance is a no-no for me. You could tell he wasn't sure of what he was doing.
Right.
I think he needed more practice in terms of in relation to the pieces that he actually submitted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Adakwe, are you disagreeing with me?
in one way or the other. But then I will start from the accompaniment. If I mean, the accompaniment is always the accompanied harmony alongside the main melody. I think I still have a problem with the accompaniment is too loud. Then apart from that, I realized he enjoys what he does a little bit. He was a little bit into the music. I don't have a problem with the switching from a piece to a piece because we don't have a specific structure in terms of how the delivery must be. So for now, I think that also got my attention. The switch. It was a kind of a surprise, and it caught my attention. I think I loved it, and apart from that too, I think he's doing well. So.
He started drumming with spoons and damaging furniture, and mommy beat him.
So happy to discover that talent in him actually, because I know that with all the artists that we have, in fact they enjoy their talent and then they make money out of it. So I was so happy to see that in him, and whenever I see him trying to do all that, I encourage him.
I'm not very sure, but I can tell it's a Baroque piece, even if it is not by a Baroque composer. The style is Baroque. And in Baroque music is very straight.
Yeah.
But you see, in modern Baroque, you know, as straight as it is, there must be few dynamics here and there. I think it was too strict, you know. It doesn't bring the musicality, you know, in the music, you know. And apart from that too, you see, that is why it is advised everywhere in the world that a performer must try and memorize the piece. You memorize the piece because when you play from memory, you are able to express it. You know, you only read when you are rehearsing. Of course, in oratorios and all that, players read. But most piano recitals, for instance, if you are doing a piano concerto for about 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes, all the audience will be expecting you to play from memory because that's where they can see your dexterity. As soon as you pick a book to read a concerto, you hear the audience murmuring. You know, they'll be like, this guy. You understand? So I think that if you memorize the piece, you'll be able to control it better than to read. You read to learn, but then for the performance, I will advise that you memorize it. But if you want to read, no problem. But it may go against you because of the expression, especially when you are not very experienced. You know, an experienced person can read and still be on point.
Hi, my name is Bess Marie Damati. I'm 14 years old, and today I'm going to be playing Impertinence by Handel.
Left hand, right hand kind of pieces can be very difficult, and you could hear the trill she was doing in there. Doctor, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. Those trills, you need precision. You can actually go off, you know, doing that, and you could tell that she had actually practiced, you know, and kept it short and precise. You know,
it works,
and it will leave a lasting memory. You know, I could remember her every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was actually a good and a
Yes.
smart thing to do. Okay, Nathan.
I thought the piece from Takrade was unique, but I think this is our most unique piece for a number of reasons. Reason number one, she told us what she was going to play, and I think that was important.
Right.
Introduce your piece, let us know what you are going to play, right? So that for people like Dr. Adakwe and Nikwe and others, when you start, it's easier for them to judge.
Right.
They know what to expect, right? The other bit that I found unique was the length of the piece. It was short. It was straight to the point, and it was a safe piece.
Right.
And she was never going wrong with that. And I thought all the other aspects for me tick the boxes. Her clarity was great. Her interpretation was good. She enjoyed what she did because she knew her piece.
Right.
And I thought that was a very, very good entry.
Nice.
Yes, he used an organ tone, which definitely, if I can hear some of the notes, I can actually pardon him a bit, because especially your fingers need to do most of that work. But I like what I heard. I don't want to go too hard on him. You know, I was going to talk about harmony, but everyone has a way of harmonizing. You know, so I won't go there too much. But I like it.
You expected to hear,
yes,
especially certain the end.
Yes, but I could tell he was actually reading. You know,
Maybe
so
the harmony in that hymn book.
is
you
different.
know, harmonies in different hymn
Yes,
books are different.
that's why I said I don't want to actually go there, because everyone harmonizes a different way.
Yeah,
exactly. But it's good for his age. It's quite impressive.
Okay. Doc.
I think that the choice of tone is a problem for me, you know, because this tone is really used to play jazz organs. You know, I'm sure it's under jazz organ or it's something. You know, this is a pure jazz organ. We have the tone of a pipe organ for hymns, and I think so. The choice of tone wasn't correct. So the melodies were missing. You know, one thing is that when you are playing as a soloist, we must hear the clarity of notes and your melodies and everything. But when you are playing as an accompanist, then of course you can do it softer, you know. But I think he played as an accompanist more than as a soloist. I think that's where and apart from that too, he's too strict. Considering the text, you know, he arose, God. But you see, of course, the argument he can also make is that he was playing it out of context. There was no lyrics, you know, backing it. So you can't just but we know the lyrics. It's talking about Christ arose and all that, you know, the resurrection of Christ. And I think the choice of tone was quite dark and all that. But yes, apart from that, I think it was quite okay. I know the hymn very well, and I think that he used the sound of the strings. You know, strings must still be accompanied with a touch response, because a string instrument is also a touch response kind of instrument. So I think that was missing. But apart from that, it was very entertaining. I mean, his touch is very entertaining. His staccatos blended with his legatos. I mean, staccatos means the short and the pam, 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 and at times you hear the smoothness of it, the legato. It's fine. But then he did a transposition, you know, on the keyboard. I wouldn't be too sure about it, but I think that there was no pivot chord. You know, when you want to transpose a hymn, what most of the musicians call modulation. Modulation is when you change the key while the music is going on. But when you lift the full melody from a key to another key, is transposition. But then before you transpose, there must be a pivot chord to transpose it exactly, which is called, the contemporary they call bridge or something. You know, a bridge chord. Exactly. So I think there was no. He just moved straight into it. It's done in the 20th century. In 20th century music, you can just, that's what we call shifted tonality. You can just shift the tone. But with this kind of music, 16th century, before you transpose, there must be there must be a pivot chord. So I think it was good for the entertainment section. I think he got it. It was very entertaining. The melody was clear. I think it was good. I give it to him.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Nathan?
Yeah, I enjoyed listening to that. I heard what I would hear when somebody's playing a hymn.
Right.
Some of those tiny little things, a few bass notes here, a few main notes there, and I enjoyed it. I think better than the previous one. So I thought the interpretation was good. I mean, the technicality of moving the song from one tone to the other, I totally agree with Dr. Adakwe. I didn't expect that to happen, but it happened. Okay, you pardon him for that.
All right. Me, I'm a novice, so I don't know what you guys are going to say, but I loved it.
I was waiting for the end.
Oh, it was cut short, was it? Oh, so at the end.
The coda didn't come. Yeah.
The coda didn't come. Nothing gone.
It's all good. Maybe they're trying to hit the 2-minute mark.
Probably.
Yes. Okay, Nathan?
That was a very good piece. It's a very complicated piece. And Dr. Adakwe, he knows these pieces. I mean, from somebody I'm not an expert on classical music, but I know this is one of the most complex things to play. And to have pulled it off like this whilst enjoying and, just feeling
And singing.
along, I thought that was a very, very good.
Amazing. Let me come to you, Doc. This is your thing.
I can see that he hasn't told me about it, but I can see this is someone who is really Adakwe fan, because I used to do King of Kings, he's the Lord of Lords, and playing and singing these songs. So, but I don't want to be biased on that. I think that he has done well. And playing and singing a classical like this is not easy at all. So, but I don't know if the criteria. We still have we don't really we will structure everything after the first one.
Right.
I don't think we have to hear the voice as well.
No,
this is
not
purely
it's
playing. So
yes.
I think I'll consider the playing and not the singing.
Yes.
But then the notes are mixed up. It's very good. It's a difficult piece, and for his age and being able to tackle such a piece, it's fine. But as I always say, it's not all about the difficulty of the piece, but the notes are. If you want me to demonstrate, I could demonstrate. Just that we have papa pam papi pam papi. Okay, so let me.
Please.
Okay. So for instance, this is how it sounds. Now this is the main melody. That is just an accompaniment, though it's a baroque way. So when you do this, with the steps, so we have to. So we have it's a call and response in a sequence form. So if you do, then the notes will be mixed up. We don't hear the melodies clearly, But I think it was impressive looking at his age and what he's doing and trying to sing along. It's impressive.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Children, if you want to learn mathematics,
I need your siblings to go online instead, but they've used up all our internet data for the month.
Get them Asanka.
This.
No. Asanka is a Wi-Fi device that delivers preloaded educational content for KG, primary, JHS and SHS without the use of the internet and without the use of other data costs. You can order online and have it delivered to your homes, and also one Asanka can support up to 20 plus devices.
And you don't need the internet?
No.
Wow.
We succeed with Asanka.
For more information and to purchase, please visit myasanka.com or call 026 57 33 200.
fun. It's been great watching these kids take on amazing pieces, difficult music, and they are playing it, giving it their best effort. Lots of people will talk about the performance. It doesn't matter. I think that they are expressing themselves the best way possible. We've heard all kinds of interesting ones, from high life to a lot of classical and all of that. It's been fun. It's been great, and it's just nice seeing that you have kids who are willing to do this, kids who are spending their time playing the keyboard, piano, learning these things, and it's fascinating to see that they are into music even at this young age. And you can imagine some of the big things they will do as they get older and they become more experienced, you know, playing the keyboard and learning even more complex pieces.
So far, the videos I've seen from the entries, I think I'm quite impressed with their skill and, you know, knowledge of the keyboard. I think given a little bit of guidance and tutorials, they will do really well. Definitely, they are novices, so you could tell that yes, they need work in some aspects of the rudiments. But so far, I think it's beautiful. Seeing young children and kids doing this, I'm quite impressed. So let's see what goes on the next time.
I think so far it has been very impressive, and one thing that marvels me is the kind of pieces they are playing. Some of them are playing quite difficult pieces, you know, and I'm wondering the time. It gives me an idea that at least they are using their time very well as kids, you know, for good activities and all that. And I therefore this program is a great one, you know, just to encourage children who have these talents and are hidden somewhere. And I think that it must be continued. And the next thing I want to see is the entertainment section. And I think as time goes on, they will improve, and the performance section will also improve. But I'm impressed. Yes, I love this program. I'm impressed. I'm happy to be here. I'm honored.
The Keyboard Idol, Citi TV's keyboard competition for participants under 15 years of age. Like we've said, this is where all the action begins. So we've seen a couple of entries already, but there's still a lot more to go. So we'll go right into it right here, right now. Starting with Daniel Ajekum Ewua. He's 14 years of age and he lives right here in Accra in Teshi, Nungwa.
This particular song, it's a gospel song, right? From Koda. I've heard another keyboardist play this thing and totally messed up.
Right.
Totally messed up. So I'm actually happy seeing a youngin actually doing this on point, and that's why I was smiling all this while. He's done a great job playing the horn section, playing the synth section, the bass line, sort of. On the song, playing that melody, I think I'm happy with what he did, and I'm impressed. You could tell he added his own interpretation of harmonies in there. You could hear those little flat heads in there, hiding in there. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Great. I haven't heard you say you love anything yet, so that's a good one. Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, it's one of the rare contemporary or modern type entries we've had. So So that alone wins me over slightly. Now, for such songs, it's very difficult to flesh out the solo part and flesh out the other parts. If he were playing with a singer or a band, he would be at peace and he would be at ease and he would have fun. But the fact that at least was able to flesh out the intro, flesh out the bass line and all of that, I think that's quite good.
Great, that's great. Doc?
I think it was very interesting. You know, when he started, I was thinking, oh, he could add some drums to it, though it's a keyboard idol. But let me tell you, for instance, if in music, if we mention a soloist doesn't mean you sing alone. You can be a soprano soloist, but backed by an orchestra. So it's a keyboard idol, but you can play the keyboard backed by an instrument, like a drum or something. But the keyboard is the soloist, like a piano concerto or a flute concerto where an orchestra is backing. But then, when I kept on listening to him, where he had the Hosanna, the way he did it, then I realized then there was no need for the drum, because that section, I mean, the interpretation from the introduction to that section, yes, I mean, it was phenomenal. In fact, I like the way he introduced dynamics. You know, dynamics in music is the soft, the loud, the in-betweens and all that.
Okay.
And few places he introduced dynamics. And his accompaniment wasn't very loud. The melody was really on top.
Okay.
I think I liked it, and his dexterity. And he enjoys what he's doing. I think, though I will not say he understands it, but he pretends to understand the music, you know. So to me, in my opinion, I think he understands what he's playing. Though it's classical, he's into it, and I think I love it. Yeah.
Great stuff. Nico?
Yes, melody was clear, clarity of notes was there. I could tell he was enjoying what he was doing, and you could tell from his dynamics was pretty good, really.
Okay.
At a point he did something, I was like, wow, okay, that is it.
Yeah. That little run there. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the guys. I thought it was interesting hearing the variety of notes, some high, some low, some in between. It brought some life to the music, and I thought it was a very, very good entry.
Okay.
When we had Jeremy, who is the oldest of the three, we were watching a documentary and we learned that when you want your children to be musical, you should play classical music when you are pregnant. So that was the luck that Junior Emmanuel got. So I played a lot of classical music when I was pregnant with Emmanuel. And then after he was born, we were not really sure whether that would work or not. So we tried to get a piano in the house.
I think Emmanuel brings to bear a lot of attributes in music, and he has a listening ear, because you go to town, you hear something, and within a twinkle of an eye, he's playing it. So he will make a deep impression on your minds, and I think that it will be worth considering him. You'll see it for yourself.
piece. It started off with the Champions League theme song, and then took us to Kofi Kinata. For a brief second, I was trying to figure out what the piece was, but it came together really, really, really well. That's a very, very, very good entry. Very good entry.
Nikwe?
Yes, for me, I'm impressed with his performance, bridging the, I'll say, semi-classical and contemporary. And it was, I'm impressed. You could tell that he was actually enjoying what he was doing. You know, and that's what we are looking out for. The entertainment part too should be there.
Right.
Know? It shouldn't be all static.
I get you.
And I love what he did too. This is my second love.
Nice one. Nice one.
At the tender stage, we realized that she could make a meaningful sound with a bangle, a custom-made bangle we made for her. So we decided to monitor her and see. So at the age of 6 years, we engaged an instructor, a piano instructor for her to unearth that particular talent. Yeah. When I see her playing, I get so much excited. Yes, because it's like a dream coming true.
When you have something of an accompaniment, i.e. like this drum accompaniment or a band, what it allows the keyboardist to do is to forget about all other things and then improvise. Okay. So having that accompaniment allowed her to experiment with different variations of a basic Yam Ponsan guitar line, and she was just playing variants of that and playing along with it, and that's great. It allowed her to improvise. The clarity, and that's the thing with sometimes improvisation. When you go on and on and on, you could miss your clarity, and at certain points, her notes weren't too clear. Right? So, yeah, but I thought the performance was good. She enjoyed it because there was some rhythm to what she was doing, and that also helped her to find her improvisation.
Okay, great stuff. Nee?
Yes, I was telling Doc early on about one of the entries, about the bass line, when it comes to Yam Ponsa, and she actually proved the correct thing. Like, she actually did what we expect from Yam Ponsa. Because the bass line is very important. That left hand is very important, and she actually demonstrated it. Really. Yes, and you could tell partial modulations in there where she went and came back into the key she started with. And I love her enthusiasm. You could tell she was enjoying what she was doing, and it's impressive. Yes,
great stuff.
It was a good thing.
Doc, you feel the same way?
Yeah, you see, I think I wouldn't be shocked if she's classically trained. I wouldn't be shocked if she can do classical music as well, because looking at her fingers, I'm a musician, so I can feel that she's more than what she's doing, and the choice of, I was mentioning that at least, though you were a soloist, you can accompany them with some drums or few other instruments, and you could feel, for me, the choice of instrument was excellent, the lead guitar. And when she was playing, I was imagining Konimo doing it, and I think her choice of instrument was good. And she really played like a guitarist. At times you can set it on the tone of a guitar, but still play like a pianist. Some keyboardists, you hear them playing the flute, all right, but you realize that the technicalities of the flute instrument is not there, but here she's using the guitar, and you can still hear it as if it's live. Someone is doing it live, and I think I love the dynamics and all that. To me, it has been my favorite so far. Oh, wow. Yes.
Again, so this is something quite contemporary. It's interesting to hear some of these pieces, like traditional Ghanaian worship style gospel music. So it's the first we've had something like that. So that's great. I love the tiny little touches in between, the minors here and there. the things that sounded like guitar licks. I thought they added a lot of flavor to what we were hearing, and I thought that's a very good one.
All right, Nick?
Yes, I think I don't know if he's church-based, but you could tell that someone who actually taught him is really, if I should put it, we call it Pentecost.
Okay.
Yes. So I could tell was on point. Where he needed to bring those chromatic notes, he actually brought those chromatic notes, right. And I actually enjoyed what he was doing. Great. You know, and for a boy his age,
9.
Impressive.
Came into mind, brody. You know, this is a pure. He started like a pure Soroku, you know, a player, which is fine. The style is beautiful, and then he moved into pure praises, as we, you know, the what we call praises in our church, you know. And I think that it's fine. He has a very good left hand. Yes, as well, you know, doing the bass, the olden bass, the Citi bass, which is fine because of the style he's playing. I think it goes with this kind of left hand. But I think he must show us he's enjoying the piece. You know, looking at what he's playing and looking at his gestures as if someone else is playing for him. You know, as if he's just playing. But looking at what he's playing, if he adds a little bit of, you know, good posture to it, it will be excellent. So I think it's excellent.
Great,
yes.
Great.
I think it's a gift, and I also would want to emphasize that even though it's a gift, I can see that he's very hardworking. He has a great deal of interest and he enjoys what he does, so he can spend a lot of time playing the keyboard. In fact, there are times that you have to tell him to go to bed because tomorrow is a school day. You have to wake up fresh so that you can be attentive in school. Otherwise, he can play till midnight.
That my son is good, and at his age, if he can do classical music, he can do high life, he can just listen, and then go to the keyboard and then play. When we are even, at times when we even have a guest organist, the organist will be on with one piano, he will also be at the other end, and then by the time we finish, they will tell us that your son is good.
Ragtime. This is one of the genres that brought jazz to the limelight. It's pretty difficult, especially with the left hand.
Yeah, at the beginning I did one ragtime by the same composer. I think you didn't love
Scotland,
it. Yes,
right?
Scotland, yeah.
Yes, Scotland. It's difficult. I like the fact that he's doing this, but I feel like he could work more on it. But it's impressive because ragtime is difficult.
Right.
Hands down.
Okay.
And I don't know, probably maybe the recording, but I feel the left was at some point overshadowing his right hand. Yes. But apart from that, I like what he did.
Okay.
Much to say. I like the progression of stuff from the intro into the second part into the third part. I just like what he did because it doesn't sound the same.
Monotonous.
Yes, and not monotonous exactly. So I like his performance, but I think he just needs more work. But dexterity is on point.
Nice.
Yes.
His interpretation of the two songs he played. So he played As the Deer, and then he played the other gospel song, I just missed it. Above All. So As the Deer and Above All. I love the fusion. He took us from one song to the other.
You can barely even tell.
You couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Right, and that's very smooth. Now for somebody like this, if you can't figure out what he's playing, yes, I mean, that's great. If he had a singer with him, or for example, if he was playing with, say, a saxophonist, or somebody playing a flute, that is fleshing out or playing the melody, then his chords would stand out and you'd really enjoy him. But I think that's a fantastic entry.
Okay, so you have had the opportunity to see every single entry that had been shortlisted up until this point. And yes, we've got our top 20. I'm going to let the judges just compile, what they have, and we'll be right back when I come back to you on this network it means that I'll be announcing the names of those going into the auditions. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and tune in to Class Act, only on Citi TV.
Here are the top 20 Keyboard Idol participants. Bess Marie Wudamate, Boaz Yaboa, Chris Tamaklo, Daniel Ajekum Ewa, Giorgio Aram Nwamesi, Edwin Ejay Ajekwe, Emmanuel Ebohil Menz the 4th, Tando Euclid Afrifa, Irajwa Obuobia Boating, Ezra Blessing, Jeremiah Akwe, Joel Yani Jr., Ababio Josiah, Justice Kwanzaa, Kelvin Boating Achampong, Nanakweku Yaboa, Nanayao Nkrumah Bwando, Uriel Yaboa Afre, Vinyo Anko, Wayne Ejay Donko.
And we're finally at the end of today's episode. Congratulations to all the 20 participants who made it through. I'll be catching you at the auditions. And for those of you who didn't make it, no worries. You're still really good. Keep practicing, and you never know, next time around you might get a shot right here on this platform. But don't forget, we're looking for Ghana's Keyboard Idol, and it's going to be a really rigorous process. Now, my name is Jessica. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, same time next week. Bye-bye for now.